Hello, Memorial basketball fans. I'm Charles Strayer.
And I'm Teddy Harless.
And welcome to another week of basketball reports here from Eagle Eye. We've got a bunch of exciting games to talk about, so let's start right off with the girls who have won another two.
Yeah, and keys in both games is we've come out swinging right out the gate with strong starts against both Marshfield and Rice Lake, 34-20 against Marshfield and 33-17 against Rice Lake in each first half.
And so some more specific keys to victory that we were talking about, limiting Adeline Shepley in the Rice Lake game and also taking advantage of miscues. So just checking back in, how'd we do with those?
Well, we did allow Shepley to get 21 points, but we overcame that with some of our own scores, which we'll get to later. And we were able to take advantage by not allowing Shepley to get any steals and as a whole out-stealing them 13-5 and out-rebounding them 20-8.
And that's remarkable because, she was averaging going into that game just under 5 steals a contest. So that is a really remarkable feat. And I think somebody who had a hand in that was Raya Shaw, who has been excellent defensively against the top players. She had herself a night as well, scoring-wise, 14 points and 5 steals of her own.
Yeah, that's a real positive sign for the future going forward with her. And a real key in our out-stealing them 13-5, and a key in us out-rebounding them was Rayna Welsch, who got 11 rebounds and 31 points, which was part of why we were able to overcome Shepley still scoring 21 points.
Yeah, she has found just an outstanding rhythm here in this win streak. I think it really speaks to the tenacity of this team, just being able to give her the opportunities she needs and her just sometimes putting the team on her back when necessary. So it's a great relationship that they all have. Again, Shaw stepping up in a big way. So that is an excellent conference win to go in, and that solidifies our number one spot, beating Hudson and now Rice Lake.
Yeah, and looking forward at what we have this week, we have Eau Claire North on Tuesday, which has likely already happened at the time of this video being posted. If you're looking for some info and preview of that game, we've posted some short form content across our platforms. And then we're taking on Menomonie on Friday and then Central on Monday.
And, if you were paying attention with us last year, you'll know Menomonie gave us quite a time. We had an overtime victory against them to end their undefeated season, and then they beat us in the second matchup of that season. So coming up against them, what are we looking at? What's the same? What's different here?
Yeah, they've been able to retain some of their key players, Brooklyn Burt and Jordan Oman, but they have lost a few as well, and they are looking like a good team, maybe not quite as good as they were last year, but still a formidable opponent. The type of team we've seen a couple of times along this 11-game win streak that we've been able to build up since Bash. It should be an exciting game, but it's one that I feel like the girls should be able to pull out a victory.
Agreed. They should be on notice. It is even at 8-5, it is a deceptive record. This is a strong squad, and we're seeing a bit of a size disparity, sort of similar to what we've been encountering with Hudson these past 2 seasons. So I think a big key is we need to find ways outside of the paint to score. We said that against Hudson, and it turned out that we just turned the dial up past 11, and we were able to score in the paint and outscore them significantly, as a matter of fact. But I do think it is important to consider that Brooklyn Burt defensively is going to give us a very hard time in the paint. So if we're not able to go to that, we're going to have to find some other ways. I think Lydia Palmier, Nora Kling, those types of players are going to have to step up and be able to get some shots off from 3 and just kind of keep the scoring going from the longer range.
Yeah, and we also have to take advantage of the transition offense, because with those big players that they have on the other team, if we settle down into the half-court offense, that'll allow their defense to get set and make the interior of that defense harder to penetrate. But if we go quick in transition, their defense won't necessarily get set, and it'll give us a chance at some easy buckets inside the paint.
Exactly, and something that we've done an excellent job with is speed this season. Points off of transitions, points off of turnovers. Those are some categories that we've been seeing emerge as trends that have really worked in our favor in terms of securing some wins along the road here. So that's going to be an important game to sort of solidify our number one spot further and keep ourselves ahead of the pack. In addition, we've got Lacrosse Central, who as a non-conference opponent will still have to be road warriors and fight our way there. So I think that will be another great opportunity to hopefully, coming off of some good conference wins, to keep it rolling as we await their return home.
But yeah, we've got an exciting week of basketball for these girls, and it should be fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
Moving on to the boys, we took care of business in a long road trip against Superior and then went on to a tough conference matchup against Rice Lake that came down to the very end, as you can see here in this clip provided to you courtesy of Old Abe's TV, where it's always a great day to be an Old Abe.
Duran fire to Orr, 13 seconds to go. 10 seconds.
Rice Lake has no timeouts. They got to get it here.
The Abes need to keep this one clean, too. From 3. No! No more! The Abes win! It's over! It's all over!
Oh, don't lie! Abes win it!
And as you can see from the 39-38 final, it was a defensive war of attrition. It was a very low-scoring contest, and that's partially because from 3, uncharacteristically so, we were not having it whatsoever. We were sitting at about 16.7%. We were 4 for 24 from beyond the arc, which is really not what we're used to. However, we made up for it in absolute lights-out defense. It's been a really great trend to see in our Big Rivers matchups recently.
And I think it shows to the character of this team that even in a bit of an off night where we're having a tough night shooting, that when it gets down to the wire in those tense moments, we are still able to come away with the victory.
Yeah, and it's remarkable to see because we were actually outscored in the paint by 10, and that's in a game where we won by 1. So a lot of back and forth. Rice Lake really showing their character in this one. That's a rematch we're going to want to watch out for towards the end of the season. But for now, we are the only team in the Big Rivers Conference to remain undefeated, and as such, we are sitting pretty in the number 1 spot.
Yeah, and that's due to, in these past couple games, some standout individuals. Against Superior, we saw a career-high 22 points and 3 steals from Bryce Hedke, who had a phenomenal game. And then in the game against Rice Lake, we saw some good performances from Wesley Mboga, who had 13 points, and Julius Clark, who had 6 points and was a defensive presence all game. Julius also went 2 for 2 from the free throw line, which free throws were a large part of why we were able to perform so well in that game, as we went 9 for 13 from the free throw line compared to 2 for 4 for the opposing Rice Lake Warriors, which was a large part in how we got that victory, forcing fouls and capitalizing by taking advantage at the line.
And yeah, like we were saying, the Rice Lake game, it was very back and forth. Rice Lake, a very tough opponent, and that rematch may decide the BRC at this trajectory. However, it'll go down as a win in the score sheet, and a lot of positives to take away from it. Again, Wes Mboga doing very well, putting the team on his back on the offense. And on the flip side of that, you saw Clark and Hedke also doing an excellent job just to be a nuisance, kind of disrupt their passing lanes, make sure that they weren't able to pull ahead scoring-wise either. So from the Eagles' Nest, it was just one of the most exciting games you could have asked for that one. And with that, we're looking ahead to another BRC matchup. We're playing Menomonie on Friday here, and then we are also taking it on the road for some tournament play.
A key to victory in each of those matchups is against Menomonie. They are a very well-rounded team with guys like Isaac Ellison, Brody Thornton, and Trevor Robert. Just a lot of guys up and down the roster who are good players. So we need to have a well-rounded defensive performance, which I think we are more than capable of having a well-rounded team ourselves.
Just like the last game.
Yeah. And then against the team from Iowa, Lynn Marr, our goal is to really limit Davis Kern, who is a 20.1 point per game scorer, So the emphasis will be on limiting him as a player and really forcing the rest of the team to step up.
Yeah, absolutely. And these will be some defensive-minded showings. And, well, like we've been saying for the last few minutes, that's something we've excelled at. So ultimately capping off a great week and going into another one, both teams are off to, great starts to the season, about to the midway point, and we're excited to see where they go next. As always, go Abes!
Hi everybody, I'm Aidan Rickert, Eagle Eyes, Other Guy. If you're interested in more MHS sports content, be sure to check out our TikTok, Instagram, and check out some of the other videos on our YouTube channel. And while you're at it, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more. Go Abes!